welcome to Queen on the Scene. I am your host, Lady Gilmore, and as always, I'm so delightful, happy, excited to be sitting in your home, because without you turning your knob, where would Lady Gilmore be? But I'm excited today. The Lord has opened up another door for us. We are here at the historical. Is that right, Brother
Yes,
Spider?
it is. Yes,
historical. I used to come here when I was a little girl, and you all know, coming, if you look back and see how the same building is still standing here. But I'm going to quit talking and let's talk to Terrence Spivey.
Hi, thank you.
What a pleasure. So glad to have you here
Yes,
today.
yes, finally. I know we've been, running into each other. You've been here at the theater supporting Caramoo, and you said, we got to sit down and talk one day, finally.
This is the time.
Yes.
The Bible speaks about the season, and
Yes.
this is our season.
Yes.
Brother Spivey, for not you and I, but for our wonderful listeners at home, because I'm quite sure Grandma has the grandchildren sitting around. Let's give them some history about the Caramoo.
Oh, yes. History of Caramoo House go back to 1915. It was a title called Playhouse Settlement, founded by two Oberlin graduates, Rowena and Russell Jelliff, and founded in 1915 on 38th and Central. And then it was relocated to where we are now, 89th and Quincy, in 1945. And of course it became the daycare. The daycare center was the first building constructed over here in 1945. And the place we are now, the Arena Theater, in addition to the Jelliff Theater, was constructed in 1949. So the history of the place is amazing. From Playhouse Settlement, of course, coming here, they changed the title to Caramoo House, which I understand the actual pronunciation is Karamu.
Yes, it is.
And it means a place in Swahili, a place of joyful gathering. And it was known for its community service to the people in Cleveland and throughout the country, because many of the folks from Turkey, Germany, all over are part of Caramoo. And it was known for being it was the first integrated theater, integrated cultural arts center. When you see this colorblind casting, they call it now, non-traditional casting, like say a la, Streetcar Named Desire with Blair Underwood or something like that. We had Ron O'Neal of Superfly playing Stanley Kowalski right there in the Jelliff Theater. So the theater was way before its time. And the Jelliffs believed, as their good friend James Weldon Johnson had put in their ears, that they believe in all cultures coming together, all men of all races, so we can understand each other's culture and heritage. And that was the purpose of Caramoo House, and using art to not just to propel artists into the field of their careers, but also for mankind. Many of folks throughout Cleveland, not artists, not actors, lawyers, doctors, they all came through Caramoo House.
Right.
They came through Caramoo House. They talked about how it built their self-confidence in their ways of communication. So I run into many of people that still have a lot of experiences with Caramoo House. A lot of great people came from here as well.
A lot of great people, and it was hands-on, brothers.
Hands-on.
Hands-on. We would sit here, and the famous actor and actress, they actually would come doing intermission.
Yes,
How
yes.
you doing today? My name is Ron O'Neal.
Yes, Ron O'Neal. Yes.
And, Ossie Davis.
And
Ruby D.
Yeah.
The list goes on
Yes.
and on and on. And yet we're still standing.
We're still standing. We're celebrating our centennial in 2015.
Isn't that
So yes, and we're getting Gregory Ash, the executive director, and I, and the rest of the staff. We're coming together and bringing in a committee, a centennial committee. So we've got a lot of great people who went on to make it big, Broadway in New York, Hollywood. They're coming on to the committee to help out, just get things going before 2015.
Wow. So it's a lot of history. Believe
a lot
me.
of history.
I mean, I see the seats I used to sit in as a little girl,
Yes.
because when I was coming up, it was only two places we could go. Right here, Gilmore House, and Fairfax. We weren't allowed to be running all over the place because our parents knew everybody.
Yes.
And they would see us ripping and running because the theater was here.
Yes.
I remember it was sewing classes here, arts and crafts.
Yes.
And our first black mayor, Carl
Stokes, yes.
he was in here.
Yes.
not soliciting, just being,
Parts of
a
Caramel.
part of the Caramel House.
That could be the reason why, and of course, you got the Stokes room,
Yes,
where he
yes.
left a lot of his memorabilia with
Yeah,
Caramel House.
That's why he
was
left
part
it
of
here,
Caramel.
for the heart and the love. Now, I noticed today, I love children.
Mhm.
There's a lot of children running around here today. What's
Yes.
going on?
Yes, in addition to, the first thing is during Saturdays and during the weekday, we have a cultural arts.
Okay.
Because Caramel is not just a theater, we also have the outreach program of actors going out to the schools to perform. We have the cultural arts program and the daycare, of course. That's what makes it so special. But Saturdays is the after-school programs they have.
Okay.
They have some after-school kids here on the weekends where we teach dancing, ceramics, art. That's what's going on. It goes from like 9 to 12:30.
Okay.
In addition to that, today we have a number of young people in the color purple. We're in rehearsals with that now.
Let's talk about that.
Yes, the past, I would say 2 years, 2 or 3 years, we've been integrating a lot of the young people in some of the bigger shows, because sometimes smaller dramatic pieces is more adults. This is one that calls for a lot of kids, so they're very excited.
And we're excited because this is why we've seen a lot of the children here.
Yeah, yes.
For the color purple.
Yeah.
So I'm quite sure you didn't do like take your name out the hat. You're
No.
part of it. So what was the process?
It was an audition process.
Audition, okay.
Yes, it was an audition for over a 2-week period. We had over 100 people coming in. It was like one of the biggest audition.
Of course, color
yes,
purple.
yes, and a lot of the young people we had them, a couple of them audition, but basically we had people who like the choreographer,
Okay.
Angelique Lipford, and just for me being here at Caribou, knowing some kids from Caribou, I just said we'd like to talk to their parents about them being part of the show. And it's like we talk about having preschool of the arts, which we have here. And we've had, in this show, we have about 3 or 4 that went through preschool, school, summer camp, to the youth theater plays we do, to the main stage. So that's, you talk about a true continuum. That's what it's about.
And being in the right place.
Right time.
At the right time.
Yes.
So we noticed today, KZ Radio TV.
Yes.
We're here today.
Okay.
And we noticed the rehearsal was going on today.
Yes.
Is some of the cast here, or can
Yes.
we talk with them?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Oh, we definitely want to talk with the cast.
Yes.
Now, what about you?
Yes.
I mean, are you directing it?
Yes, I am. I'm directing the play. I mean, I as artistic director, normally I don't open up directing the first production, but this is one that it took 2.5 years to get the rights to it, because they had been touring. It toured Playhouse Square twice. So we kept, and I called the folks in charge there to say, are you all having a third tour of this show? They said no. So I said, good. So they were able to allow me to get the rights and everything to the show.
Wow.
So-
Right here in the city of Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes, yes.
Isn't that awesome?
Yes,
Brother
yes,
Spike?
it is. It
And,
is.
and I know your heart was
Oh,
just
yeah.
like beating and jumping.
It's one of those plays that's, if you're going to do this show, you got to be ready to do it. You got to believe in knowing who's here to do the show.
Okay.
This season, I think only maybe about 5 or 6 institutions across the country is producing it. A couple of high schools are doing it too, but it's not as much pressure, on the high schools, and they're doing the production that's really, but when you got adults in the show, they're expecting, are we going to see what we had seen in Playhouse Square,
Wow.
So they're not going to see what they had seen there. It's going to be a different interpretation,
Well, we're
different
excited.
actors, different directors.
We're excited, Brother
Yes,
Spike.
thank you.
We're getting ready to take a commercial break.
Okay.
And before we go, let's give out the phone number and the address here.
Yes, the address is 2355 East 89th Street.
Okay.
And the phone number for tickets or whatever is 216-795-7077. And the website is caramelhouse.org.
And we'll be right back. Peace and good day, and welcome back to Queen on the Scene. And again, I'm your host, Lady Gilmore. I'm so excited. I feel like I'm in kindergarten, but I've been out of kindergarten a long, long time. We are here at the Pyramid, experiencing, having such a good time with interviewing the cast from Color Purple. What an honor to have one of the actors here.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's playing a role in Color Purple.
Absolutely.
So what I'm going to let you do, my pretty girl, my pretty young lady, introduce yourself and tell us what role you're playing in Color Purple.
Right. My name is Colleen Longshaw, and I'll be playing the role of Celie.
My favorite. Oh my goodness, how did you get to play that part?
Well, I auditioned. I'm a Cleveland native. I currently live in New York City, and they reached out to me and said, hey, we're doing Color Purple, are you in town? And I wasn't, but I was able to arrange it so that I could audition and come home to do it. I finished the show right before this, and so I was able to come into town and do this, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of it. I love to be a part of an important show in my hometown.
Isn't that something? Where did you grow up in Cleveland? What side of town?
The east side. I went to Euclid High School, Kent State University, so I'm in Ohio and through.
All the way, and I can see it.
Yeah.
So when you play in this role, see, tell me, what does it do to you on the inside, as you play this historical moment? Because
Right.
she played a very important part in Color Purple.
Right. For me, it gives me an opportunity to, in the current day, tell a story that I think is still very relevant to us. The time frame that they did that, the whole dark versus light, the whole hatred within our race was very strong. But I also feel like many girls today can relate to Celie and feeling that way. And so many have to sacrifice for their younger siblings. And a lot of, I think, oldest children will understand that. For me, it pulls on things that I have experienced in my life, and it makes me look at strength in a different way, because today we consider strength not putting up with and not tolerating, but there's a beautiful strength in endurance, and I think that's what Celie shows. So it's making me pull from every pain I've ever felt and every joy I've ever felt all at the same time. So it's exciting, it's a journey, and I feel like I'm growing into it day by day.
As my generation says, it's pulling at your heartstrings, and it's reaching way back. Oh, you remember when something similar like this happened to you, so that way you're able to, as we read in the Bible, come out your belly. You
Exactly.
can have it just come out.
It definitely comes from a real place, and you don't have to go through an exact experience to be able to relate. But we've all felt pain, we've all felt rejection, we've all felt like we didn't matter to anybody. And unfortunately, you can buy into that truth and believe it also. And I believe for a season of her life, she believed it. And a lot of it is just about sacrifice. I feel like it's the love of a sister to know one of us can make it, and I'm okay with it being you.
And with the 21st century, that's what my young daughters need to hear.
Yeah.
That it's not just you alone.
Right.
But here's someone that have been through, and if she can make it, you can make it.
Exactly. So I think it's a beautiful story of redemption, and also I think it addresses issues that we do have with God, because I know as a colored woman myself, I've had those times where I'm like, God, do you not see us? Do we not matter? And I feel like this story, because it spans such a large chunk of time, we get to see how God works, and he does definitely work in mysterious ways, as the play shows. You don't always get the immediate answer, but I like how we get to see how prayers are answered, and we do get to see that. And I think it's important, because as Christian people, we call on God all the time, and he might not do what we want him to do when we want him to do it, but it's working for our good, and I think this show says that too.
It's going to work for our good, because the God we serve allowed us to go to a commercial break with all this 21st century equipment. We're going to tell the Lord, hallelujah. And we'll be right back after commercial.
Whatever she is, that girl sure is fine.
have to stay in my seat so we can fulfill our assignment today. We have another beautiful, beautiful sister with us today that is part of Color Purple. I'm going to turn it over to you, and you go right ahead on, my sister, and do what you do.
What I do? What would you like for me to do?
We need your name, what role.
All that good stuff?
Yes.
I'm Michaela LaShawn, also known as Kai LaShawn, and the role is Suge Avery.
Okay, Suge Avery, let us see what you do.
Well, she's the party girl, you know.
Right.
And child, she don't care about nothing but Miss Suge, okay? Totally opposite from me, but she has a fun scene. She gets to dance and be sexy and gritty and powerful. What's great about Suge that I like is that she is that woman. She's kind of the Renaissance woman of that time.
Yes.
Because when it wasn't appealing, attractive, or even acceptable for a woman to make her own choices, Suge was doing that. Well, she kind of did with her body, you know, but that was her power, you know, because she was kind of ostracized by her father, and then Mr. didn't, you know, live up to what he was supposed to do as a man and marry her. So that I think she thought, I'll just punish them all.
So she was our diva.
She was kind of, sort of, but she really, you know, believe it or not, she was very wise, and she was a loving soul. And I think that that's kind of what is going to be translated in the character. That she was very loving, and outside of the juke joint, honey, she had a heart, and she had consciousness, and she had soul, and she really loved Celie.
Okay, well, let's see. Do what you do.
Oh my. Okay, I guess I'll do a little bit of the fast one. Is that okay?
Okay.
Now there's something about good loving that all you ladies should know. If you want to light your man on fire, you gotta start it real slow. We can't give it all away, but she's something else. Oh my God, you have to see this little dance, push the button. Ooh! And you know what's funny is I go home with her.
Good.
I kid you not. I know what Denzel Washington means now when he said he couldn't shake Malcolm X for like 6 months. It was, I know what I am feeling this personality in me that I've never felt. It's a little scary.
But it's all good, though.
It is. I don't know.
Well,
It's a little dangerous.
We have to be excited about what we do.
Yeah.
So if this role wasn't exciting to you, you'd be like, well, yeah. But now it's exciting.
Absolutely.
And it's got in your spirit.
Absolutely.
Your energy, your bloodline.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I like you. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I don't do things that I'm not passionate about. I mean, my real work in life is children. It's our children. They are my life. I mean, that's my passion. People always thought it was music or singing or acting. That's just what I do. I've been able to do Broadway. I've been able to do film, a little film. I've been able to do TV work. That's how I think Channel 19 and 43 when I was on the block a couple of years ago. I've been able to do those things, but when I found my passion, which was leadership development and teaching, all of this pales in comparison to that. And it's kind of like, I know now that God kind of gave me those gifts to be able to be attractive to kids, for them to see that, you know, there's an adult who has this wisdom and consciousness and elevating their humanity and their civility and all of that, you know, developing leadership skills and their authenticity and integrity, because that's what I teach, but that I'm connected to them. And the arts give you that passion and that energy and that life. So that's why they're connected to me in that way. And I think that's one of the reasons that I'm so effective with young people, because I can relate to them in music and acting and singing and dancing, you know, all that diva stuff.
And that's what our children love.
Absolutely.
When Peter asked Jesus, who's the greatest of them all?
That's right.
He didn't pick me and you,
That's
my
right,
sister.
that's right. He said the children,
child,
that's
the
right.
children.
That's right. He said, if you've done it to the least one of mine, you've done it unto me. So my passion in the world is to teach people how to teach children in the way that they learn and in a way that's connected to their purpose and divinity. One of the things that I think is critical in this time that we live in, because so many kids they're just going through so much, is to teach them who they are from the inside out and give them an authentic and genuine leadership role in which for them to see, you know, this is exactly how I can be. Even if I'm not your mother, even if I'm just your teacher, even if I'm your neighbor, even if I'm your mail person, even if I'm your police officer, even if I'm the woman at the church, we must remember that children model what they see. And we must become emphatic and just really passionate. Everybody has to take that
They
responsibility.
need to model what they see.
That's right.
And we're going to go to commercial and give them a wonderful thought. As you are who you are.
That's right.
And we do love you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back. Welcome back to Lady Gilmore. And on this part, I have what is so precious to me, my young people. I love my young people. And they are playing an important role in Color Purple. Everybody, woo for Color Purple. I watched it on television, so to see it actually now is very exciting to me. So we're going to start with you, my pretty princess. Tell us what your name is, what your name means, and what part you're playing.
My name is Mia Knight, and Mia means mine, and I play young Nettie and young Olivia.
All right, and you, young man.
My name is David Hobart, and I really don't know what my name means. I haven't really used it.
That's all right. But it shows signs that you're a good listener. To be a great leader, we have to be a good follower, a great follower. Well, I'm gonna give a plug out to your dad. That's one of the most heartfelt, hard-working brothers in the city of Cleveland. I want to salute your dad and your mom, DeQueen. Peace and love from Lady Gilmore, Ben Hobart. All right, let's talk about what. Come on, I'm excited. You guys got to get with me. Tell me. Let's talk.
About the show?
Yeah.
Okay, it is a great production. It's very big, and it definitely makes you work. You can't just kind of half do it. You have to work for it. There are great people from everywhere, New York, some people from Chicago. Like, it's an amazing production, and it's great to be in it.
So you're working, not playing.
No,
you're working.
You're working.
A lot of work?
Yes.
All righty then. What about you, Handsome?
Well, I have to work, but I do get to play. In one of the scenes, I have to run around a lot. Karamu seems to make me run in the previous plays. But, yeah, like Mia said, it's a lot of work that we have to put into it. Long hours every day after school. You can see us downstairs doing homework on the side. And then 5 minutes later, we have to get up, run and do the scene, and then we're back into our book. So we're balancing this pretty well.
That's what you have to do, balance. Have you played any other roles? I mean, in past shows?
At Karamu?
Yes.
Yes, I did Sisiko. Last year I played Maisie. It was a very fun production. It's definitely a difference from that show to this show. It's just this show is very mature, and you can't take it lightly like you could Sisiko. You have to take it very personal and deeply. You can't just lightly flow it. You have to dig deep into it to feel it.
Well, since you used the word mature, how old are you, my pretty princess?
I'm 11.
11. My. And using the word mature, I know your parents are very, 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 very happy and delighted. And what about you, Prince Ben?
I'm 15.
Yeah, you should be. Okay.
Yeah.
And is this your first?
No, my first show was the Black Nativity last year, and I had 2 solos, and I ran around the stage a lot. And I mean, that was a good starting show. The people here at Karamu, they're so welcoming. Like, I remember the last year, not this previous God's Trombones, but the 2011 God's Trombones, I saw that I really didn't want to go to a play, and I just remember coming, and there were times I wanted to get out of my seat and go dance. And at the end of the show, I took one of the forms and filled it out, and I was talking to Mr. Spivey, and I was writing everything, how I liked every part of the show. And I was so ready for a call to say, oh yeah, David, we're having this show, would you like to be in it? And I just waited, and last year, my mom called me and said, go to there's an audition for Black Nativity, you should go do it. And I did it, and I was walking down halls one day, and he was like, Mr. Spidey said, I remember you. You're the one who wrote the best recommendation form for God's Trombones, and this kid is amazing, and just saying all this nice and positive stuff. So every time he sees someone or a director or someone, he tells him that story, and it's just very nice atmosphere here at Gilmore.
But that's so good to have our young people. I know you both have heard your parents say this: right place, right time. So you both were in the right place at the right time. And we want to thank you so very much for inspiring other young people at home. If you're sitting there and see something that you want to do, go for it, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Queen on the Scene. I'm so excited. We're still here experiencing the energy of color purple. And I have standing before me another one of our young people that is playing an important role in the color purple. What's your name, pretty?
My name is Raven Lithry.
And what part are you playing?
I play one of Mrs. Kids, one of the Olinka children, and ensemble.
I see you're standing here in a dancing position.
Yes, ma'am.
Will you dance your way into color purple?
Okay. Well, one of our dances was 1,